Okay, here I have the original, so I had it in the post with the problem for having the brick so big. I wanted to have more bricks within the same wall. So the way I did it was to go first into the pipeline, the loop development pipeline for the brick wall, which is this one here. Okay, here is also the full pipe component for applying. I mean, for the different materials using the merge, the uh, introducing also the Alembic file and also having the camera. So right here the camera and the different assignment for the materials, the gaffer for the light, the also for the render setting. Okay, so in order to do that, I was not able to find out how to use the material UV transform, which is the one for the Arnold shading node. Was not able actually to put it there. Ah, sorry, this is the one for the material. Okay, like when you go to the material and when you go to the material, you know that you get your node there, and then you select it, and then you get display for it on the parameters. There you have to go to the whole process of going like for adding adding a surface and then adding an Arnold surface shader, which is the one that I was using is for the here the standard surface. Okay, so here's what here where we get the information for the base and everything. As you can see here for the base color, this is what we got, which is the different component for the red, green, and blue. There is no chance anywhere like in Maya where you can have a slot so that you can introduce, let's say, an image as a map there for the color map. I will delete this for the time being. Okay. So before I delete it, I'll have to explain that the way I I build the different component here in order to get the final result was to create for the look development file, which are right here on the right side. In order to implement the different maps and colors, I created a look development file for the barrel, another one for the brick wall, another one for the floor, another one for the pallet, and another one for the boxes. Okay, that is as you can see here in the image, one for the barrels, for the pallet, for the boxes, for the wall. And also here in order if these are plain material nodes, I just renamed them. This is the procedure. So this is the in the basic shapes for the material node there. What I did was to use to read instead of just creating a plain material. I set it in order to read a look file, development file. Okay, and like in this case, this is it has to be reset. So, okay, this has to be reset. I will create another one. There is another problem I have found also on. For the materials that, let's say, if you switch here and if you had previously created a material and then you want to create to switch here, and instead of going for a new material you want to go for a look development file, then something here isn't working because it doesn't switch and go back to the basic as it used to be. So in order to compare it so that you can take a look at it, um, I will call for another material right on the side of this one here. I will put it. You can see here is still the surface shader in spite that I have called for create from a look file, from a look development file. So if I select it here, just by hovering on top and then pressing the letter E, you can see here in the material node in its basic shape. So here, if as I did with the material number one node, I will go and say, and do the create from look file. As you can see here, there is no the same information as it is in the previous one when I change it. So there's none here. So what I can call here. So that's something to be aware of. I guess I mean, you have to go into that problem, something that perhaps the foundry will have to fix in the time, so that when you switch from back and forth between one and the other one, you won't have to face this kind of problem like this, like having to go into a calling a new material in order for not to get that. So I get here the create new look file, and here as you can see this is a plain file. I mean, when you create a material from a look file, and there is in the description here is empty, but here as you can see for the material, which is similar to the one that is open here, which is the one selected, okay, here I check for the green dot, and you can see that now I have plenty of information here that I can go similar to Maya works, the way that Maya works, where I can also introduce path information, path um, leading to color maps, like you can see here the Greek color for JPEG, which is the one that I'm using as a color map for the wall. Okay, so here that's the difference. That's because this node, this one here, the matte brick wall, okay, is calling uh, through the path here, calling this looks dev by Josh, which is my name, brick wall k katana look file klf, okay, which is that one that is called in there was actually created from the brick wall here through the look file material out. That's how I got it. So since I was not able to use the as I explained in my post, I was not able to use the UV transform node, which was coming from an Arnold shading node, okay, which I renamed it. Was not able to find out. Perhaps someone who is wiser knows about it and don't want to share how for the new people. I mean, in order to know how to use it in a shorter way instead of going all the way back and do the changes from the look development file and having to go all the way back to the material here and then and proceed and do all the way around the changes. I mean, it gotta be a shorter way just to go here and use either this node here, coming directly from the material and switching it, having it switch into UV transform, or either using this other file here, which is the Arnold shading node, and also selected as a UV transform. I was not able to do that. So what I did was to go to the basic, go into the to my original look development pipe for the brick wall, and as you can imagine now, if you know the pretty basic for doing small look development files, not that much complicated. This color map here is actually an Arnold shading node, and an Arnold shading node, as you can see here, and selected as an image here. That's how I did it directly, and then I proceeded to do the corresponding transforming by going here to by editing the parameter here, and and changing the names for, as you can see also here to the right, color map into the group base, so that I can also see that information all the way down the stream here, and be able to get the information from this stream here, from the color maps into the displacement, get the information here, and also from the color map. So by going also here in this color map image file, this one here, right at the bottom, okay, there is a menu. There is a menu with the name coordinates, as you can see here. So for the coordinates, you got the parameters there where you, our attributes that you can go and change in order to do those changes that you want to do here, in order to make these bricks smaller and in more quantity for the walls. Okay, so I found this information here, and what I did was I proceeded also as well for the same as I already had before, the information for, yes, I at the beginning I only have the information available for the file name, in order to introduce here the path for the color map. Okay, so what I did was to also to introduce the rest of the information. I didn't do the information for the sampling. Okay, so this one I omitted it. I just did the information for the file name, and then I proceeded to do all the information for the coordinates all the way down. I didn't do it for the channel, neither for the output. So here's how I did the changes, and by going here to the to this button here for editing the parameter, and proceeding the same way as I've been doing it before, like for the different attributes, in order to have them available, and once I save the look development file, by assigning every aspect of this coordinate information into a single group, which was the coordinates. Since it was already here coordinates, okay, that's what I did. I used the same information, like putting the S wrap as a name, and then as pertaining to the group coordinates. I did the same for the next one as well, which is, as you can see here, for the S offset, I repeat it. You can see the information here over here. It's the same as here also as well. So I name it the same. Yes, well, I did a bit of change there, but it doesn't affect. It's just a name or text, so it won't affect whatever mathematical or, or calculation is done within the with the Katana software in combination with Arnold. And but I also assign it to the same group, which is a coordinate. So it still is coordinate, all everything under the group coordinates, and that's how I assign every aspect of it, have in order to have it available. Once I did that, okay, I was able to go here to the this node, which is the I name it shading group, but actually it is a network material. So if you want to look for it, you just go here and press the tab key and go type NET right there. So that is the network material, and once you select it, you get that information there, and you just change the name as you please. Usually, let's say you get familiar names so that you know what you are doing, and remember exactly where you have the element that you need in for future implementations. Like here for the name, I changed it into shading group, and I added the terminal, which is the one that I was using is for surface. So when I click here, I got this connection, which is the one for um, which is the one for the Arnold surface, and then for the displacement or for normal maps, or okay, you can you have to also add another terminal, which is the one for displacement here, and that's how you got that connection here as well. So you have two connection there, and there you have so many other connections you can do during the process of your work. As a matter of fact, so far I have had the experience now just for using the surface and displacement, and that's it. And since the information that I'm working on, which is the coordinate, I can work it through the one that I already have, which is the one for the surface um, terminal. Okay, then I proceeded to read it through here. This is just like kind of a this notes a kind of a summary where you can see, let's say, all the changes that you did here for the image. Okay, like for the image in combination, these are two Arnold shading nodes. This one here on top is the same as this one. Okay, same kind. It's just that you proceeded to convert this node into an image and this one into a shading. And this other one is what it does is collects the information from this stream here and from this other stream here to the right. That's how you get the base, okay, which is the groups that I have here on this first node, which is here. See, you can see the information for the base color, diffuse roughness, same for specular, transmission, sheen, but that was the end of it. And I needed the information as well for the um, in order to implement the changes for the coordinate. So here you can also get the collection for the specular and all the changes for the displacements, which is the information coming through this downstream here. And here's the information that I added in order to get the corresponding changes that I needed for the brick, which is the coordinates. That, as I explained before, what I did was to go here to this Arnold shading node that I renamed it as color map, and proceed as well to include that extra information I didn't have before. Like I just had just the information in order to introduce the path for the color map, but all this other information like this one here, which I edited, I didn't have it available before. As you can see here, for the sampling I don't have any, so that's why sampling is not available in this network in this network material information here. I don't have it here available. Okay, it's just the information that I'm using, but I have it available in order to use it further down the line. After that, I proceeded to rewrite again the look file. Okay, I already had it here as a look development by Josh Brickwall. Actually, I didn't have this other small extension, which is dash under dash line and number one. I could have named it with the same name as it was, but I have been experiencing some problem, like when I rewrite it, the file, the previous one, which didn't have the information that I wanted, for the coordinate. When I save it, and then after once I save this file, which is stored here, okay, it's right there, the information. It is supposed to rewrite that. Once it's rewritten, I could go to my main composition, okay, here, in order to get the material for the pre-wall here. Okay, here's where I use the material. This is actually material, as you can see here. There's a material node, okay, with the action to create the material from the look file. What look file am I talking about? Okay, I'm talking about the look file that I created right here. for the brick wall, and the path for that is this one here. This is the path or the location where I stored. As you can see, here's the the address for it. Okay, in order to find it, the path address for the computer to find it. Once I have it there, then I was able to have this information, which I didn't have before. Okay, before I only had the base, the specular, the displacement, but there was no coordinate. Yes, until now that I just replaced the new look version for the file. Actually, as I explained before, for that I have to change the name a bit by including that down that underscore slash and the number one, because when I was pre-reading the same file with the same name, it wasn't actually updating this information here. I don't know why. So that's why I had to go and change the name many times. I guess that's something that perhaps the Foundry will have to look for it. Problem with that. I guess I'm not the only one, unless my computer, perhaps because it's an old HP computer. It was just actually it's Intel computer. It's not even a big computer in order to process huge amount of data. So once I get the coordinate information here, here's where I did the changes. I left everything as it was, and the only thing that I changed here was to change this before original. This before original was number one. For the T scale was number one, and I changed it into number two as well. That's how I changed it. And the way it looks before the wall was like this size. Once I proceeded to change to do that change, I went into the at the end at the bottom, and I did the the regular right click and selected the preview render, and then check the monitor and see how it went. And this is how I used to be before, and this is how I get now. As you can see here, when I do the changes there, you can see that the wall, you can compare, the wall now has smaller bricks and in more quantity available. That's actually what I did in order to get the what I wanted or what I wanted to get. See it here, you can see the change for the brick wall in order to get it. Thank you for paying attention to the information. If you have further information in order to help me do the changes locally, so that of going having to go instead of having to go to the directly to the look development. As you can know, and as far as I understand, in every pipeline there's gonna be one guy doing just the look development, which is this part. Let's say all this area here is done for just one guy doing the look development, and there is another guy who is going to be doing this part of the work, which is the lighting. Okay, applying different lighting for giving the different looks with illumination and shadow. So that means that if I'm doing lighting, I won't be able to have access to this information here and proceed and do changes to the last minute, like this one here that I did, but because I just happen to have a little bit basic of look development. But what about if I'm just given this information here? How would I proceed to do the changes here? Just by going and implementing the look development file. And how can I go and change it here directly here by introducing a node here, which I saw that I could use just this node here, which is the regular material node, and proceeding to the changes. Is any like if this is the same as any of these regular material nodes, so that I can go ahead, introduce it here or somewhere down the line where I can go and perform those same changes with changes, okay, to last minute, or call it on screen changes, okay, so that I don't have to go all the way to the development file and do the whole changes and read the file again in order to get it. There gotta be a better way. So I appreciate that if you can help me with that insight. Thank you, and and thanks for watching.